this is the reading for the female single Capricorn for February 2018. I used the Romance Tarot and the Sex and Love Tarot, and I use a House of Love spread, so I have 3 cards that make up the roof. And these are the cards that are going to really accentuate your next coming relationship. So your next significant relationship coming in. So we have the 3 cards that make up the roof, and that is how it's going to show how you guys meet, or the circumstances in which, or what happens when you do. And then the 4 cards within the house are really about the relationship once it's in full swing. Now, I'm going to start off right away here with the first card in the roof on the romance side of things. And the first card I get for the Capricorn female is the 9 of Coins. So the 9 of Coins, and we got to remember this is our next significant relationship coming in. Circumstances. We may have been, okay, this may get complicated. We may have been in a solid and firm foundational relationship when we met the new partner coming in, okay? Or we just feel a firm foundation with this new person coming in. They feel like they are very much someone solid, grounded, and safe for the Capricorn female to like approach, right? Feeling of safety comes forward. The next card I get on the sex side of things is the Hermit, number 9. And the Hermit is really about taking yourself out of the relationship situation. And it may be on the physical side of things. You may feel very grounded with this partner coming in, but a reluctance to dip into the sexual side of things with them. So be aware of that. The next card I get on the romance is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is all about emotions, but on an immature level. We're not quite dealing with things in an emotionally mature way, okay? So there's something here symbolizing that. Now, as we go to clarify that, we get the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands is about jumping into the physical side of things with a new partner, a new direction, physically, intimately, right? But we have to keep note of the fire in the background, the couple in the background. So you may have jumped from one relationship to another quite quickly, or in an immature way. They're also saying that it might be a situation where you're really playing these people against each other. So yeah, that might be a situation that it's like you're playing these 2 men against each other. Like using one to get the best from the other, and using the other to kind of spur them to get it. That's kind of what I'm getting a sensation here. So you may be kind of on an emotional level going after these men to get what you want from them in a selfish kind of way, really, not thinking about them emotionally, thinking more about your needs. Now, the next card I get on the romance side is the 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords is about loss. And we have here 2 males and 1 female. So that really accentuates the situation here where we have these 2 guys pinned against each other and her in the middle. And I really get the sense that I don't know that you want either one of them, really, to a high degree. I think it's more circumstantial that they're there. And I feel like you could walk away from both of them and not really care. So that's interesting. And that is kind of hinged on the idea of the emotional immaturity here. We're just kind of going through the lost socks, you know. We're just throwing them away because they don't matter anymore. It's kind of a feel. So we got to watch, because that has detrimental effects in the karma area. Now, the next card I get, the 9 of Swords in the sex area. Now, the 9 of Swords is about anxieties and fears within the, not even within the relationship, but within the bedroom and the sex side of things. So there's something causing you anxiety. Oh, boy. So we have to watch here. The word I got was sexually transmitted diseases. And I'm not making a judgment call here. That was the furthest thing from my mind. Though it shouldn't be when you're out dating. That's got to be the first and forefront. But that's maybe where the anxiety is coming from. Maybe somebody is, I don't know if this is game playing or not, and don't take my word for it, but there's some real weird stuff going on here with causing anxiety and stress within these relationships. One person saying, you know, yeah, or throwing pregnancy out there to get someone's goat. And it's just, yeah, that is immature, and that is really not good. So we got a weird sense of lashing out here within, and I feel like there's a situation where, oh, it's not necessarily one that's coming next. There's a few here that we're playing off of, and not fair. We're not playing fair here. So the next card I get within the house. So this is all in the dating scenario, right? So we got to be aware there may be some things in the air that cause anxiety. Things like, you know, maybe even rumors of people having some kind of disease, but it's too late for you to take note of that because the past has already happened, right? And you didn't know that information before, type thing. So there's something here that's kind of put in the air, and I feel like it's gossipy type stuff, but we're trying to get another person to react from it. So the next card I get in the house here. So once we're in full swing and moving forward, we get the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is really about a male accommodating a female. And when we get into the sex side of things, we get the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is that emotionally kind, generous, and compassionate person. Now, I'm hoping that the Capricorn female, I hope she's not taking advantage of that soft side to this man, because there's a real genuine caring that comes forth here. But nonetheless, he's the king, so he's been through enough here. He should be able to suss that out. Now, he is attending to this female nonetheless, very accommodating, very compassionate, and very genuine with his feelings. Now, the next card I get is the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like we're getting back down to business here. The Queen of Pentacles is you, is that Capricorn energy, that earthy energy, the strong, stable woman who's ready not only in her own life to be her own person, but to go forward and find that own partner, you know, the partner that matches that. And then if we expand on that, we get the Knave of Pentacles. So the Knave of Pentacles is about overindulging in the senses, right? So we could have drink involved in that, or we could be using drink to get more involved in that center. We could be using alcohol to cure our curiosity for sex, if you get what I'm saying. So we may be feeling a little prudish in our own skin, and we go outward, you know, with the drink, and then we start to explore things in that way. And you may be doing that with that King of Cups, and that is all within the mix there. Now, the next card I get is the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is about reunions and reuniting with someone. I mean, it's just happy reuniting. You just happier than you've been in a while. And then about the Ten of Wands is really about taking advantage of the time that you have and being intimate with that. So I feel like this is almost a different energy here. And I got a King of Wands separate from that, because I've got a King of Cups here that's got a softer feel to him, more accommodating, more willing to help and nurture through this whole process. And then I got a King of Wands where I feel like he may be at a distance, but it comes into harbor, and you guys take advantage, and then he's off again, right? And that is kind of what the Knight of Wands is famous for, but the King is usually a little more stable. Now, the card I get to expand on the King of Wands is the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is about someone being there, and that could be this King of Cups, someone being there, but your mind is somewhere else thinking about a past relationship, and that could be the King of Wands. So we have a situation here where someone is accommodating to the female, but her mind is somewhere else, and she's not quite engaged here, and maybe even avoiding some love lessons along the way, kind of just jumping right over it. and not really, it's almost like she shouldn't have, I don't want to say this, but it's almost like the relationship in the past, she's not put it away. It is still ongoing for her, but she's got someone in the mix that is just there. And it's not it's accommodating. He is accommodating to her, but it is not accommodating for her. She is very much, her mind is somewhere else. She's thinking about something else, and she's got a lot of, I think, worries in that way about maybe the process that she's going down herself. I get a sense of groundedness within her, but I also, it's kind of a bipolar thing. I get this sense that she might even be, creating a different field for these different men. So wearing a bit of a mask. When she's with the tender cups guy, she's more soft and tender to him. And then when she's with the wands guy, she's a little more fiery and a little more, it's almost like she's kind of trying to figure out who she is amongst all of this, and therefore is bringing both of those relationships forward, although she only means to be in with one, but she's not quite with anyone per se, because her mind's somewhere else. So very jumbled little mess here for the Capricorn female. And I mean, this is single, so this is, it seems to be that the Capricorn female is really aggressively dating. And we have some stuff here. And I feel like it may not have been the Capricorn female that was in the midst of some of this immaturity, but there's immaturity around her that she gets caught up in. Okay, because we have the Queen of Cups here, the Queen of Coins in the middle here, signifying, yes, we got a grounded energy. But there's a lot of immature energy around her, including the dating that she is... she's bringing in, the people that she's picking to bring in. There might be some immaturity levels in that way as well. Although the King of Cups feels quite strong and stable, but I don't think it's exciting enough for the Capricorn female. It's just kind of boring. She's not quite enthused enough, though I see here the Knave of Pentacles, there's a side here, a little bit of a wild side coming out in the bedroom. And that needs to be nourished. And I think in the past she had something like that. That was the opposite. The King of Cups here, that is accommodating, cherishing her, compassionate to her. She never had that before. But she had the fire in the bedroom. And now she's got no fire in the bedroom, but he's compassionate outside of there. And then she's thinking about the balancing act there. And I hope that she comes to terms with some of that, to the point where she can move forward in a single-minded direction. Because that's really what's going on here, is a lot of shattering of the personality, where we don't really have a good hold of who we are. Although, naturally, that is something that it shouldn't be hard for us to do, but we're really scattered through all these people. And I'm feeling in a social circle as well, like we're just shattered. We're not being true to who we are. We're one person with this person, and soft with that person, and strong and no shit with that person, and balanced with that. And we haven't really got the time to figure out what fits nicely with us, even though it's ingrained and it's always there. We're not paying attention to that throughout all our social circle. So it's a little bit of an interesting vibe I'm getting for the Capricorn female. She's on a bit of a trip here, but nonetheless aggressively dating and going through the motions. So she just really has to be authentic to who she is, and then go outward with that. I think you'll be okay. You just kind of getting caught up with some immature energies around you that you need to kind of brush off or get some distance from, so you can gain your composure and then go back and then start making heart decisions in that way. Because I feel like the people outside of you kind of really can sway you. And you go, yeah, that does make sense. Oh, no, this makes sense over in left field. But you can't agree with both. You have to make a decision down the line. So that's really what's going on here. Is I think there's a little bit of confusion starting or being created around you. And you just have to kind of isolate yourself enough to understand where you want to go. instead of where everybody else wants you to go. And the reasons are good and it's just and sound, but where do I want to go? I have to feel into my heart a little bit, because it's easy to make a logic decision, but is your heart going to pay for it later? And it's easy to make a heart decision, but logically, are you going to pay for that later? So you kind of have to really balance those two in order to really take back all those energies and become that whole person that you are, if that makes any sense. So for the Capricorn female single for February, like I say, the energy could manifest after February into the spring yet, but this is the next significant relationships that will come in your way. And it seems like there's a bit of a trying to move on and having things from the past infiltrate where you can't really, you're not really moving on. You're just trying to deal with things with people, a whole bunch of people around you. And you got to maybe take the time to isolate a little bit and work on that on your own time instead of, you know, aggressively dating. But that's my judgment call. You have to do what you have to do, and whatever you get guided to do is there for a reason, really. So you can listen what I say or not. I'm not trying to, but through what I get filtered, right, they're kind of saying we need to understand who we are. And this was really, the male was dealing with this in the last reading that I did. We have to deal with who we are as a person, understand who we are, so that we can get that perfect fit. And that's what's going on with the female now. She just doesn't know who she is in order to get the perfect partner. So she has to key into that first in order to find the perfect one, because she's getting all these mixed matches because she thinks she fits there, but she hasn't taken the time to figure out where she really fits. So that's really what's going on. So happy Valentine's Day, Capricorn. Take care. I think you're having fun being single, and that's the point of it as well. For the most part, just dive deep into your own psyche there and figure out who you are so you can go out and get it. Get what you want and what you need and deserve, right? So take care, have fun, and be kind. Happy Valentine's.